No.
of me eating Sun Chips. So,
Are we trying to be
Max,
like?
that is like right in my ear.
Are we trying to be like the Family Guy radio for the dogs? SpongeBob would not be happy.
okay, so that's the intro, everyone. Hello. I was trying to have you guys lead in today. So
No.
So today we're going
No,
to be talking about.
that's not how we start the podcast.
So
Welcome to
On
the
today's
podcast.
agenda- we're going to be talking about Furiosa.
No, that's all we're talking about today. It's just Furiosa.
It's just
That would
an
be a
hour-long rant from Max about how people are terrible.
I mean, I'm mad. Man, I gotta change this real fast.
He is Mad Max.
She's mad.
But I ain't stressed.
First thing of business, our box office wager has been going on, and so far, barely any of our movies have opened. Last weekend, because we have had a 2-week break, If opened at number 1 with a disappointing 33 million, but, I mean, it's fine in comparison to what's coming up. It is an original movie, and has held well in its second weekend, so it should be fine. Madison, any thoughts on If doing okay?
Did anybody else have that on their lists? I don't think so.
No.
Nope.
So
I purposefully left it off my list, actually.
So all I have to say to that is suck it.
Well, we don't know if it's gonna make the top 10. It's about to be June. We're recording this on the 30th to date this podcast, even more than it already is. But essentially, we don't know. Anything could happen in August. Maybe the Purple Crayon movie will be the family movie of the summer.
Oh God! Stop reminding me that exists.
Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Yeah. Are you ready to see the classic character of Harold as Zachary Levi? So yeah, If opened decently. Was it even decently? It opened okay. The Strangers Chapter 1 had the best opening for a horror movie of the year. So, good for that, I guess. I heard it's very bad. And then Back to Black had a bad opening.
Figures.
I get Amy Winehouse isn't exactly the name that would typically work for a biopic. Because we're biopics that are very successful, Bohemian Rhapsody or Straight Outta Compton, it has to be something that's like very culturally relevant. And Amy Winehouse just didn't have that same like public eye figure.
Yeah, Amy Winehouse was more just music for white suburban moms in their 30s and 40s.
I take offense to that.
I was surprised that she did actually have a hit in America with Rehab. That was a hit in America, so.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's the only song anybody ever talks about.
Yeah, that was a hit for her. So those 3 opened last weekend, and this weekend was Memorial Day weekend. But me and Justin, we actually went to go see Furiosa: A Mad Max Saga. That's the title of the movie. And Madison
Opted out.
She actively refused to go see the movie.
I'm sorry. I let you two have a nice day out by yourself so that you can go get some boy dinner and enjoy a boy movie.
Boy dinner, we did not. The whole Olive Garden thing was just a ploy to mess with you. It was supposed to be funny. But you took it too seriously.
No, we didn't get anything. I ate before I went to the... You saw me eat.
I did take it seriously because if anybody's getting a Garfield meal, it's going to be me.
The only thing we grabbed at the theater was... I grabbed a snack and we grabbed some popcorn. And that was it.
Yeah, because I paid for his ticket. So he's like, out of the generosity of my heart, I'll give you some popcorn. I'm like, sure, fine. And then we watched Furiosa, and I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's as good as Fury Road.
No.
Because I think, especially thinking on it, Fury Road is just such a in-the-moment zeitgeist. It's a pure action movie, has no lulls in its pacing. but also having the complexities of the characters, and you do care for Furiosa in that movie, and the lives and Nicholas Holt. They're really fascinating characters. The world is excellent. There's such a madcap energy to that first Fury Road movie. This one is definitely more serious, more introspective, more focused on telling a complex story. And I don't think it necessarily is as effective as Fury Road. It's going for a completely different thing. It's not Fury Road, which I do think is a good thing because it wouldn't live up to Fury Road. But I really did enjoy it. Is there anything in particular that you want to bring up that's not spoiler related? Because I want people to go see this movie in a theater.
Well, there are some things. Well, there are some things in this movie that, for anyone who was a fan of the Mad Max game, they might notice certain things, certain like characters or details from the game that are in this movie. If you go and give it a look back, but the game does not actually technically tie into the cinematic universe because George Miller kind of disowns the game entirely.
Fair enough.
Because he didn't have creative
control
over the game. They told him no.
I mean, Mad Max is his baby, to be fair. And, like, the whole reason why he decided to make the Furiosa movie is just because he made the story. They were going to make it into an anime that was going to come out the same time as Fury Road. But then he looked at the story, he's like, hold up, I want to save this for myself. Because he really loves the world. And you know what? With how much of a jump it is from Road Warrior and Thunderdome to Fury Road, the man is clearly cooking up something. I don't know what he's been smoking in between those 30 years. I don't know. I guess Happy Feet money.
Happy Feet.
I don't understand. How can you make Happy Feet and then your next movie be Mad Max Fury? I don't understand that. But anyway, Furiosa has great performances from Anya Taylor-Joy, who I guess is not going to be a movie star now, so thanks. Chris Hemsworth, who's always been box office poison, but he was fantastic in the movie. In fact, I was telling Justin about how some of the reviews were coming into it, and he didn't believe me that that he was supposed to be a highlight of the movie. He's like, "There's no way. He looks so goofy from the trailers." And then when he actually shows up, he's like, he smiles at first, and then the movie goes on, and he's like, "Oh, he's kind of cooking." I saw your expression change. He's like, "Oh, shit." I guess you kind of just expect Chris Hemsworth to be the funny
Chris
Thor
Hemsworth,
guy.
yeah. Which, like I said when we went to watch it, I did appreciate he doesn't use the Hemsworth voice.
He does an Aussie accent.
He like changes his voice up a little bit for the role, which I did appreciate. He's not Chris Pratting his way through this movie.
Speaking of this weekend, by the way, and I think this movie is a 8 out of 10.
I'll just stick to the 8 because I think Fury Road is more deserving of the 9 for me. So
Fury Road, if it wasn't for some of the weird dialogue in that movie, could be a 10. I think pacing wise and how like the emotions that the movie actually do hit, despite how simple that movie is. And I understand why they decided to make a Furiosa movie, in terms of like that character being so cool in that film. She's the main character in Fury Road. Max is kind of a side character in that film.
It also felt like between the two movies. I mean, the last time I saw Fury Road, well, the first and only time I should say that I saw Fury Road was just about a year ago. Was my first time watching it. But I will say, from what I remember, comparing that to this movie, it does seem like the action sequences were shot differently.
So yeah, that is a complaint I do have with the movie, because Fury Road was clearly done on the deserts, practically, with all these trucks and all these actors. I don't know if it's because George Miller is too old I mean, he's getting 80 years old now. Or it's because that Warner Brothers was like, hey, that's too expensive. Cut it down. And they had to use green screen and CGI for it. And I don't think the action scenes look necessarily bad once you're actually watching them. But,
No.
But I think that you're going to see a lot of screenshots of individual moments from these scenes, and they're going to look horrible. I know the one that's going around is the child in that scene with there's a child in the movie, and he has a role to play, and he has a lot of obvious green screen. I have it as the logo of our group chat. It's a great, what a great little kid. I love that kid. But Furiosa, please go see it because the box office numbers came in. It's one of the lowest Memorial Day openings in recorded history for a number one movie. And it cost $166 million to make. And after the news about it doing so bad, they're pretty much canceling the next Mad Max movie. So please, I'm begging you. I hope this movie, please go see it. This is probably going to be like fucking 6 weeks late, so it doesn't even matter anyway. But like, this movie should have done better. Fury Road is a movie that everyone agrees is amazing over time, right? So you think that people would be like, oh, Mad Max, let's go see it. Unfortunately, the internet has told me that Fury Road is very niche, apparently. Regular people hated it because it's too weird and extreme. And then people were like, we're so sick of franchises. Prequels suck. And then they'll go see the latest Marvel movie. And then there's other people that are like, people are just sick of female heroes. That's the issue. Because of girl bosses. And if that's honestly your opinion, I hope you fucking fuck yourself. Like, it's like I don't even know what to say. I'm
cough, shut up, raise your hand.
I really fucking hate
this
these
is where
fucking.
Max gets mad.
Yeah, like, seriously, like you complain about like boring cookie cutter bullshit in theaters, and then a movie like this that has artistic flair from a director that wanted to make it purely because he wanted to. A passion project with great acting, special effects, action, something that's different from everything else out right now. And people are like, whatever. But I guess this year it's been a trend because The Fall Guy didn't do well, Challengers didn't do well. If looks kind of bad, but even that, like, that's an original movie that's not doing well. People are like, we don't want to see original, we don't want to see sequels, we want something original. If is in theaters right now, bitch. Put your money where your mouth is. Go see an original movie. Stop going fucking Despicable Me, Inside Out, and Deadpool. If those are the three biggest movies of the summer, then you're proving my point when it comes to I don't trust you people. You guys don't actually care about films. You're just like, whatever's the safest thing. Just fuck it, man. And also, another thing, people complain about the prices of movie tickets. And I understand that I've seen ticket prices from the big cities, and they can get pretty pricey. The thing is, people like to act like, oh my god, we're going to the movies, we need to make this such a big event. Everyone gets their own popcorn bucket, and they all need a drink. Just go fucking see the movie. Just go see it. You don't need to make a huge event or sneak in food. The movie theater employees don't give a fuck unless it's like, I don't know, I've heard like Texas Roadhouse, Alamo Drafthouse, whatever that theater chain is like picky, and maybe in the cities it's a bit more picky. But I'm serious. Yeah. Like, in our area, movie theater employees don't get a single fuck because they're underpaid anyway. So don't overpay to go to the movies. You're doing it to yourselves. Just go pay for the ticket, and that's it. And I get for family movies is different, but like Furiosa is not appealing to families. Like we're not complaining about that. Garfield didn't do well either, by the way. It did better because it has a lower budget. It has $60 million budget. Also, keep in mind the marketing stuff, but they won't reveal that specifically. but it's going to be more profitable in the future. We're going to get a sequel probably because it opened bigger than the Bill Murray one. So amazing. Good job, guys. I love
Terrible.
you. In terms of everything else, though, we also got Angel Studios' latest Christian masterpiece. It's called Sight, about a man who moves from China to become a doctor, and through faith, heals people. I think that's the plot. Angel Studios, God's Children Are Not for Sale. I've heard Cabrini was good, and apparently Sight is like a cute little Christian movie. I don't care really too much about propaganda, but whatever. So our top 10, we actually got 10 movies now in our top 10. And we got one dropout. Number 11, Not Another Church Movie. It's already been out in theaters, actually. It lasted 2 weeks.
Rip.
Number 10 is Sight, the Angel Studios movie, at 4.5 million. Number 9 is Back to Black at 5.6. 8 is Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, the 2024 re-release, 13. Tarot Cards at 7. The Strangers Chapter 1 at 6. And then Garfield Slides at 5. Furiosa at 4. If at 3. The Fall Guy at 2. And The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is at number 1. The only movie to reach over $100 million right now.
And you guys both had that.
We all, no, you didn't have Kingdom of the
I
Planet
didn't
of the
have
Apes.
Kingdom, which was
The only
a
movie-
stupid decision on my part.
I think the only movies that we all had in our top 10 were Furiosa, which might have been misguided in retrospect, and Deadpool and Wolverine, because we're nihilists. I don't...
Well, I mean, for me, I just like, I like Deadpool. If I do hope that this would be like, you know, their last Deadpool film until they decide to introduce him into the rest of the universe and do the collaboration shit there. Don't keep milking the Deadpool thing. 3 is plenty.
Well,
when it comes to these movies.
Disney's first one, so it doesn't count.
I don't care. He's already had 2 movies. You give him his 3rd movie, and then you move on to other characters.
I honestly, from what I've heard about X-Men 97, I'm not watching it because I might suggest it for the podcast. Like, X-Men has a lot of potential for the MCU if they actually just adapt it and not just... The MCU is just stale right now, okay? I don't have faith. And it's from the director of Free Guy. Ugh. Anyway, so that's our top 10.
Catchphrase.
Let's hope that, I know he doesn't have a catchphrase, but, catchphrase is actually a pretty cool catchphrase. That movie's so fucking bad. Anyway, so here are the wide releases for this upcoming weekend. Ezra, which is a dramatic comedy
about Ezra Miller.
No,
it's
about
not. I'm kidding.
About a stand-up comedian. We got In a Violent Nature, which apparently actually is going to get a wide release. And I say wide release, it's over 1,000 theaters. If it's not over 1,000 theaters, then...
So, is that a good sign that it's getting wide release?
It's getting in more theaters, more markets, more people can see it.
Okay. I didn't know if they did like pre-screening to get to that decision.
Audiences could have been like, it's something that they liked, or whether it's more realistic, the trailer got more traction online.
I mean, it is an interesting take for a movie. So,
what was the Late Night with the Devil did well with a semi-wide release,
even though they did AI.
We don't need to talk about that. And then the Nicolas Cage Alien movie did not do well in wide release. So this is their 3rd attempt IFC films. Then we have Summer Camp, which is about Diane Keaton, Kathy Bates, and Beverly D'Angelo going to a summer camp because they want to be friends as old women and do all the fun stuff. It's exactly the type of movie that comes out once a year. This is one for the old gals, and no one sees it. Then we have Haiku, the dumpster battle. This is based on the anime called Haiku. It's a volleyball anime. Apparently, it's good. I have not seen the anime because volleyball anime, I don't I don't know, sports animes are not typically my thing. And then finally, I don't know if this is getting a wide release. It's not playing at their local theaters, but it's called Young Woman and the Sea. It's a Disney movie that they're burying alive without a wide release, starring Daisy Ridley from the Star Wars sequels, and she's like an actual like Olympic swimmer, and she breaks records in the ocean, and that's that movie.
Hope she's got a better chance at giving a good performance in that.
I mean, she's honestly, she wasn't really the problem in the prequels. It was more the script.
No, it was the writing, and also the
Like-
subverted expectations.
No,
So,
The Last
what was-
Jedi is good. Well, let's just get that straight. That's the best one.
Well, so the whole implication with that movie was we thought we were gonna get a stormtrooper that is force sensitive.
Oh, The Force Awakens. You're complaining. That's what the trailers promised too, but like,
Yeah.
you can't really like. I guess you can hold the trailers.
And also,
accountable,
apparently, I just recently heard that they didn't even have the scripts ready for those movies. They just kind of did it as they went on
I
set.
honestly quite believe them by how inconsistent they are, especially Rise of Skywalker in particular, because The Force Awakens is just a repeat of A New Hope, right? Then The Last Jedi is just a Ryan Johnson subverting expectations, his take on Star Wars. And then The Rise of Skywalker is just like, wait, guys. I know that the neckbeards really hated this movie. Let's just take it all back. Okay, we're gonna make it safe. Palpatine's the villain again. Somehow Palpatine returned. And that's the movie. And all the references in the world, baby. I remember, so it was a funny story. So we went to go see Cats, and
God.
and everyone was complaining, "Oh, I want to see Star Wars." But no, I want to,
You
not
want to watch the worst of the two.
no, I Star Wars is something that's close to my heart, right? And I was not ready to see Star Wars die that night, so I needed a
Yeah.
couple days to. I wanted to just see the Funny Cats movie because it looked so bad, and then we actually saw it, and it actually destroyed my friends.
Yep.
And Madison
The
paid,
only movie I DNF'd.
and she paid $100 in IOUs to someone to get her out of there. That's the funniest story, I think. Me and another friend just stayed and laughed the whole time, though.
It's kind of funny because I thought you were mad at me for doing that.
No, I wasn't mad. I was just like confused. Like, where did you go?
Not to derail, but back to the whole Star Wars thing. I saw a video where the title of it was like something like the most convenient thing ever in film history, and it was a scene, and I'm not sure which one it is, out of the new trilogy, but Rey is holding up the knife that she apparently just found in a hole in a desert somewhere, and she's like holding the knife, and she's looking at this mountain peak, and it just so happens to have the exact curvature that she's looking for.
You want to know
trying
what's
to
even
discover the
funnier?
location.
That's the first location she. So they go. They reach down the planet, right? They talk to someone who's like, "Here's the Death Star," and then she walks to the edge of one of the cliff valleys, and this is the first place they check, and the knife handle conveniently matches the exact place that they need to go. And also, she's the only one that can go, by the way, because the rivers are too harsh right now.
And the knife wasn't even something that they knew existed. They just stumbled upon it.
No, so the Sith, Palpatine somehow returned, and as a zombie, planted these two Sith daggers
Jesus Christ.
in random parts of the galaxy. Kylo Ren, in the beginning of the movie, before it even starts, finds one of the Sith daggers, and then goes and finds like a secret coordinates for how to get to Palpatine, and then Palpatine tells him to get Rey, and then they do all this to find the second dagger, which leads them to the coordinates to get to the Palpatine. But then Kylo Ren destroys those coordinates, so she just takes his ship, and then all the other characters follow them through a black hole to get to that location, and then Palpatine's plan just kind of works because then he doesn't even know it because Rey and Kylo Ren just fucking show up, and he discovers that he can take their powers. He's like, oh, I can do that? Okay. And also the Force can heal in that movie. Anyway.
Isn't this the same movie that introduced that? Shut up. Introduced that whole bullshit.
The Force healing?
Force teleportation shit with the lightsabers? Or was that before?
That was the Last
second one?
Jedi. Okay. I actually kind of... In that movie, they don't do that it's more of just them, like, talking to each other. And then, like, it's raining outside. So, holding hands in the Force. When he reaches back, he has rain on his hands. In The Rise of Skywalker, they use it as, somehow when she touches something, whole objects appear when the other person disconnects the Force call. So it's so you can teleport whole fucking lightsabers and like Darth Vader helmets and just
yes. The two of them together have the highest midichlorian count of anybody in the galaxy, so they're just able to fucking transcend shit and teleport shit between each other.
Don't forget, the Force doesn't choose who's strong with it, through spirituality or some cool shit like that. It's because they're related to powerful people in the past, because that's how Star Wars. Oh my god, isn't it cool? Rey's related to Emperor Palpatine. Oh my god, wasn't that such a cool twist?
Who the hell got with Palpatine? Who?
This is after Revenge of the Sith, supposedly. So who's his wrinkly ass face?
Who got with the scrotum man and had children?
And then, they need to hide her away. So they trade her for scraps and booze. Seriously, the derailment of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. This is a whole fucking rant.
Yes.
And it's great.
It's a tragedy.
Can we call this episode just boy rant? Because it's been you guys talking about Furiosa,
which you should have saw.
Somehow it turned into Star Wars.
When did that get started?
I don't even know.
We're just built different, okay?
We have a higher testosterone count.
You're bonding. It's natural.
I'm gonna steal your boyfriend.
To get back on to get back on track.
That's an unexpected twist.
Back on track, I guess.
So, those are the wide releases coming out. Not Star Wars. We already had a Star Wars movie come out this summer. And I don't think any of these are gonna do particularly crazy. I mean, if one of them wants to enter in the top 10 for a week, that's cool. And then I believe next week is The Watchers and Bad Boys Ride or Die.
Oh boy.
Well, that's a big test. Is it Hollywood? Like, people are like, gloom and doom, like ticket prices, whatever. But I mean, if Bad Boys does well, if it does better than all the other movies coming out, I'm gonna be pissed. Unless it's great. Who knows? It might be a masterpiece. I doubt it. It's a fucking Bad Boys movie. But if it does really well, I'm gonna be pissed.
Just from what you told me about the plot of that, it's just
Oh my! Well, you saw the trailer, right?
Yeah. Now the two cops, they're on the run because they're wanted. Oh no.
But yeah, I'll be pissed. But this weekend, those small releases are gonna be coming. And hopefully Furiosa holds well. But it's predicted right now that Garfield will be number 1 because kids movie, smaller drop. So get ready, Justin.
Oh boy.
So
we watched Fargo.
Thank you. I was hoping that someone else would pick it up. Sometimes
since I haven't had a chance to say anything edgewise.
Actually, please, I want you to carry this conversation on your back.
Oh god. What was the episode about? It was about
hold on, I'm gonna bring up the details for episode 1, just so I can at least get a
Yeah,
recap
because we watched it.
because it was a week
Over
and
a
a half
week
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday, but I watched Orgasmo last week, and they flipped it. We flipped it,
which is good because now we'll equally have
Okay.
info for both.
So I guess I have
medias.
to recap it. Fuck.
on the wiki,
On the wiki.
it describes the summary for episode 1 to be in 1979. Otto.
We don't need to go on all this detail.
Okay.
Wait,
So Otto Gerhardt, who is like the dad in their crime family in Fargo in 1979. So he's the dad. He's got, I believe, three
three
sons.
Yeah. We only really know the one just because we follow him. Essentially, the episode is like it's typical Fargo in terms of that it sets up its environment, and then it has a couple storylines that are running through. The one that's the most focus is that we have this crime family, and Kieran Culkin is the youngest brother who's not respected, and he wants to get his own money laundering scheme going so he can provide for the family. And he has some fun activities. He goes to a typewriter shop to try to get these fancy typewriters in business, but the guy who owns the typewriters can't sell them because of a legal thing with a judge. So he goes to the Waffle Hut to talk to the judge after smoking crack, and it doesn't go well. He shoots up the place, only for him to start running onto the road and get hit by a car.
We had spoiler warnings to this, right?
It's a TV show.
That came out almost 10 years ago at this point.
That doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't?
It came out in 2015.
Yeah, so honestly, come on. We're talking, and anyone who's actually listening to this podcast, thank you, but I think they know the gist at this point. Spoilers for everything moving forward, okay? But there was an interesting point in that episode. It could be just because he smoked crack, but Kieran Culkin sees like a flying saucer go by. What do you think that actually was? Especially with the shoe and the tree.
I forgot about that.
That was the one thing I wanted to talk about, actually.
I had a little theory about later on.
Later on, so are you thinking about the shoe in the tree or the flying saucer or them both?
No, actually, I have. It was a small detail added in the conversation between the couple at the end. I have theories.
So yeah, that's the kind of the end of that plot line, but that, like Justin said when he was gonna explain everything, crime family, the head honcho has a stroke.
Yep.
Power struggle, and now other people want the business as well. Second plot, so we meet the father of Deputy Molly from the first season. We saw him in season 1, but he was a major side character, and he is partially in the police scene. He's one of the state police, and he investigates the shoot up that has at the Waffle Hut. We meet him, his family, and the third plot line that I remember. So Jesse Plemons works at a butcher shop, and then he goes home to see his wife, Kirsten Dunst, and it turns out that the car that hit Kieran Culkin is actually Kirsten Dunst's car, but she carried the body all the way home, and so they have to kill him, and then she basically forces Jesse Plemons to cover it up in order to, save her reputation.
Well, the guy wakes up and is trying to escape and attacks Jesse Plemons and is then
killed in self-defense.
Yeah.
But
so it's not like
Kirsten Dunst takes this guy that she ran over in a car to her house and puts him in the basement. I think that
well, not in the basement. She just parks in the garage.
Yeah, just in the garage.
It's in the garage.
It's just in the
I thought it was
garage.
the basement.
No.
Okay.
He looked pretty. He did look dead.
He went through the windshield
Yeah.
with his head.
His
There was
face
blood.
was leaking.
Yeah, there was
so-
blood going everywhere. So it's
Yeah.
I don't think
You
he
know.
was gonna last that much longer. So it kind of sets up this whole investigation, kind of a double, like, big plot line, kind of like the first season. I'm assuming the one is going to be about this crime family and everyone, like vultures, trying to snip up the power, and the other one is going to be this investigation about the hit and run that happens.
well. So the cops are already investigating the shoot up at the diner. That Kirsten.
Both of you called it a shoot up. It is a. It is a shoot out.
It's not a shooter.
Shootout.
There was only one
Shootout.
shooter. It's not a
It's-
shootout. A shootout is between multiple people firing at each other, like in the first season of Fargo.
Yes, actually, I'm right.
Shoot.
The diner was shot up, so it is a
You
shoot
don't
up.
Say it. It's grammatically incorrect to say.
It's a shoot up scene.
After the shoot up.
No, it's not. And I'm not going to argue with you over grammar in this podcast. So, moving forward,
No more grammar
sh-
mistakes. Will be mentioned
the
on
shoot
this.
up scene
This
that
is great
that Kieran Culkin committed,
because he
committed.
got too high and nervous and got sprayed with bug spray.
and he was trying to
Intimidate check
the judge. Yeah.
who's like higher than Val. Like, funny character, by the way.
Too bad she's dead now.
You know,
So they're already investigating that, but I think what might happen is obviously the crime family is going to end up catching wind of, their third son has not been around for a while. Where the hell he go? And they're going to probably find out that he's, no longer roaming this earth anymore. And I think they're going to, end up trying to come after Jesse Plemons and Kirsten Dunst.
I think that those two are going to be the Lester of this season.
Yeah, maybe.
Especially Kirsten Dunst. Because I am so interested to get in her head.
Because what did he say that she's trying to do? She's trying to
cover it up.
no, but like her career wise, she's like doing.
I forget.
Was it beauty school or
or
salon?
She's gonna buy the salon someday.
the salon?
And
Yeah,
he's gonna buy the shop.
the butcher
someday.
shop. Yeah,
But then after all that happens, she just wants to run.
yeah.
And then he's like, "We can't cover this up." And he's like, "Well, what do you think's gonna happen if you tell the police?"
Can I tell you my theory?
Okay.
So, I don't know when exactly this happens, but I remember seeing it. At one point, when they're having their discussion as to what the fuck to do next, it cut to her at her vanity, and she was brushing her hair, and there was a little, like, I guess it was like a postcard, or like something from California, because it had California on it, and she was looking at it like she was like, So, my personal theory right now
Is
for
that-
her character is that I don't know what exactly was in her head when she saw that guy in the middle of the road. I don't know if she saw the gun that he had or had witnessed what he had just done.
Yeah,
But-
that's kind of the mystery of her character.
It felt to me that she did it on purpose and as a way to get her husband to run, because it seemed like he was pretty content where they were. But that little scene there with the postcard or whatever it was had me thinking.
Oh yeah, because I mean, when they're having dinner too, it seems like there are some issues in their marriage.
Yeah.
Because he seems to think that she's like feeling a little distant from him lately.
Yeah, and
So-
then you figure out that she's a psychopath. in some-
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming from like her actions
I
that she
think-
runs over a guy and then just drives home with her in her in her windshield.
I think what they were intending the audience to believe for that first episode was that maybe she went into shock. I
How
don't
do you,
think they're.
she's so calm about the entire thing. I think it's kind
I
of
mean, that's
impossible
part
to-
of shock. Just like going, because like when people go into shock, they go into like their regular routine. Like they're just like keep doing what you're doing. Nothing's happening. You'll be fine. Just push through it. So like
I would have no cell phones. Keep that in mind. But
Yeah.
like I would have just gone home. Like I don't know, like do something.
it's also, I mean, with cases, it's like the most terrifying thing
Just fucking
when you're
dump 'em in the
driving,
woods.
to be like, if I hit somebody, like the rest of my life is completely different. So like when you actually do that, maybe you're not thinking about pulling up to a hospital with a potentially dead man
I mean, I
in your
say that,
windshield,
but
because it's
I just remember Hereditary.
it
and,
is
like,
the
that
right
similar
thing to do, I will say, but I do understand people who are like scared fucking shitless in that moment and don't want to do that.
Kind of like fight or flight.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it all goes back to shock with just like, something happens and you just like kick into like basic instincts, like just keep driving, just keep.
Yeah, that's
doing
exactly
what
what
you're doing.
Hereditary did. And
Yes.
that's one of the most shocking moments in modern movies.
I mean, she was spoiler for Hereditary, but she was decapitated. So like, that going to a hospital or going anywhere isn't
Well,
going to fix the situation.
What in actuality, like, if that actually like happened, would you even believe that could happen? And you would just go home, like, cause he just went home hoping that it was like a dream or something.
Yeah. Which I feel is what they were setting up for her character in Fargo, but I
don't
sense
know.
I sense a little stink there.
It's the way that she's talking to Jesse Plemons during the scene where she's like, "Well, I guess we gotta go now."
She's like, we gotta pick up and go. We gotta.
She's
No other option.
So eager. So, your theory, I didn't
It
notice
has
the
legs.
postcard.
It has
But-
legs.
You think
I
that's the
believe it.
reason why we had that like scene of Hollywood in the beginning? They're shooting the film with Ronald Reagan.
Oh, maybe.
Hmm.
I forgot about that.
No, I was like that opening.
That
I
was a
like,
weird scene. Yeah.
her- That was interesting. Do you think race is going to be like a big thing this season? Because that was a clear like
Maybe.
awkwardness about that scene. Maybe that was the could be another reason. But well, I mean, we'll see.
Okay. Can I get a blanket?
For those who have not seen Fargo season 2 episode 1, there was an extra on the battlefield set or actual field,
For the Reagan movie that they're
Yeah.
shooting.
and he needed a blanket or else he would be cold. So-
Yeah. They're like filming in February or some shit.
So yeah, I think we all enjoyed Fargo season 1. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. I think we all enjoyed Fargo season 2 episode 1.
It did not fall into the slump of the next part being bad.
So
The sequel.
we have to ask, do we want to continue with Fargo season 2?
Yes.
No. Could you imagine?
That would have been interesting. Justin would have killed you. He was so desperate to watch the show.
Yeah,
and then
did-
it just
this-
goes back to the wheel.
We put
I've
it on
been
twice,
pushing.
didn't we?
He put
For
it in
Fargo
twice.
season?
Yeah. So
Rigged.
kind of, but it's fine. So we're gonna watch up to midway through the season.
So up to episode 5.
Okay, yeah. This will make it better for Madison because last time we had 2 weeks and she decided to watch all 9 episodes in the span of 2 days.
I
And Scooby Doo
am bad
1
at
and 2.
pacing. But I'll probably watch like 2 episodes tonight, honestly.
Okay, that's good. And after that, we'll finish the rest of the season that next week. And then Fargo season 3 will be added to the wheel alongside Xavier Renegade Angel season 2. And whatever shows we recommend. I forgot to add a wild card pick. But we'll figure it out. In any case,
On to the movie.
and the movie that was was picked this week is
Orgasmo.
because Justin
Interesting week.
is
Fargo and Orgasmo.
is a simp.
They
for-
both end in O.
Yes,
Wow.
I
The Lord
absolutely.
works in mysterious ways.
So says the Mormons in Orgasmo. I absolutely love Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Clearly,
Um,
the last 2 episodes on this podcast. The last 3 episodes on this podcast have not demonstrated.
oh man. So
This whole arc has been fun because I'm about to be the supervillain.
We're getting into the stride of the podcast.
listen. I know you're gonna rate Orgasmo super low, Max. I already know that it's coming.
I've
I mean,
said my disdain
but
for it after watching it.
I'm not going to, you're not going to be super surprised by my rating. Or, well, you might be surprised by my rating. I'm not going to rate it super high. I obviously
I would
know.
hope not.
I obviously
Hold
know
on. Is,
that
is
it's not a.
Orgasmo on Letterboxd?
It has to be. It's a movie.
I obviously know that Orgasmo is not a great film by any means.
Please.
Okay. it's
Yes. Stroke my ego a little bit more.
it's a mediocre film at best, but I still enjoy it because it does have that Matt and Trey humor to it. Especially Matt Stone's character of being the picture guy on the set of the adult films that they are making in the movie. And he always comes in with those quips of oh, I don't want to sound like a queer or nothing, and then he says for the first half of the movie he says things that are not even out of the normal. He says things like, I don't want to sound like a queer, but I really like unicorns. And then later in the movie it does get into more
Like, I get what they were going for with the jokes in this movie, but I don't know if it's the timing, the jokes themselves being a bit lazy.
It
I gotta wait
definitely
for the mic to stop bouncing.
sorry.
it definitely gives like college frat humor, or
Well-
not frat.
Well,
but,
you see how young they are in the movie, yeah?
well, yeah, it's definitely very before Matt and Trey were in their prime, I'd say.
It's the same year that South Park actually came out as the year that Orgasmo was released or spawned in the theaters.
Which they also say that they don't like the first 3 seasons of South Park, Matt and Trey.
well,
Or
I
at least
wonder,
one of them does. I forget who.
does any of them actually? Do they ever reference Orgasmo in like any interviews or anything? I know they did on the show.
Not really.
But-
They've mentioned basketball a
and how
bunch
they
of
don't-
times
and
on
how
South
they
Park.
don't like it.
Well, I think one of the jokes in South Park is I think it's Kyle saying that or like pissed that people don't like basketball. I forget how that joke goes. I completely botched that. I'm sorry.
You didn't really. You were trying to explain a joke. In any case, the plot of Orgasmo. So a Mormon boy has a best friend that is only in the movie for 5 minutes, and he is trying to spread the word of God. He walks into a porno set where they try to assault him, but he's good at fighting, so they hire him as an actor to play in the porno movie, and then the porno movie gets made, and then he has porno superpowers, and
Porno superpowers.
and then he becomes a box office success, and then he needs to beat the evil producer, or else bad stuff will happen to his girlfriend, and then that's the movie. There's more than that, but honestly,
I will say anything with Ron Jeremy has aged so poorly.
of course,
I felt uncomfortable every time I saw him on screen, which is not a feeling that you want to get from a comedy movie.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that's probably the feeling that most people had anytime they saw him on screen anyway, even before all the stuff came out.
I mean,
yeah, but now it's like
okay.
cranked up to a billion.
If you
like,
went to
it's
go see
so horrible.
If you went to go see this movie in 1997, right? This is without South Park being as big as it was. So you would basically be going to the theater for a movie that sounds and is rated like a porno. So seeing Ron Jeremy in the movie, apparently we watched the unrated cut, which cuts out some of the nudity and sex, which good. I don't need to see.
They showed in the beginning. They showed that girl's boobs for like a millisecond, and then they covered the boobs for the rest of the movie.
With
so
dude ass.
Yes, I was very confused by
Maybe
that
that's the
it's
joke.
like
I think that is
only
part
get
of the
like
joke.
a second of boob.
You get nudity, and then it's replaced by unwanted nudity.
It's funny because gay
Well,
is.
yeah, but I'm sorry, I cut you off.
It's perfect. The joke works like that.
I'm specifically talking about the fact that they showed boob like fully. They didn't show it almost and then covered it. They showed it once for that millisecond, and then the rest was covered.
I was gonna
With ass.
I was gonna say she cut you off like Dude Booty cut off the boobs in the movie.
I honestly, the movie was just not funny to me.
By the way, I rated it a 1.5 stars on Letterboxd.
So that's a 3 out of 10. You rate Scooby.
3 out of
Okay,
for 1.5.
what's 1.5 times 2?
Oh, I don't want to do math. 3.
It's 3.
Yes. I already told you the any point is the movie was
It's too many
very
stars.
boring. It was dull, and the whole thing is just very predictable punchlines, annoying characters, dumb plot conveniences, and it's just annoying, to be honest with you. Maybe I don't like. I'm assuming basketball could be like this too. Early Matt and Trey, apparently. So I wouldn't like early South Park, I guess. It's still them, Rusty. I like them as actors, though.
I feel
to
like
be
South
fair.
Park, by the time that came out, they kind of had like.
It was the same year.
Well, yeah.
It's when the South Park movie comes out.
Their
apparently.
humor in that is way different, or not way different, but different from this. movie.
Dude, and just farts and oh my god, I'm gonna make people have orgasms on the street. Isn't that funny? And then they repeat it like 10 times in the span of 2 minutes.
All right, but we can't just not talk about my main man, G Fresh. Okay,
Are you? So G Fresh is
the Japanese
The-
sushi
Oh,
sushi
yeah.
karaoke bar owner.
no.
Who's black?
He's
Stereotype?
yes, and that's the joke. It's not funny.
I love G Fresh.
I
Okay,
will
Cringe.
say it's probably the funniest part of the movie, which is
It was-
not saying a lot.
I found this movie very cringe.
y'all
and
let some
fun.
haters.
I will say that there were funny moments. There was definitely Matt and Trey humor in there, and I enjoyed when that appeared.
There were
But
some
a lot of
moments
it-
that could have been funny, but like it's the timing or like the performances that hurt it. So there's a
We-
couple of jokes in the beginning when they're giving their Mormon sermons and then they run into people on their porches, and there's one that could have worked with this old lady, but it's something about the timing and the way that
Ye-
it's done that makes it just like, oh, well.
I
just
thought that
happened.
part was actually really funny
Well, I'm sorry.
because she's an old lady, so
I'm
it
sorry,
diverts
I don't-
expectations.
I think the way that she says it is just
Yeah,
not funny.
it would same for me because it might also be that that joke's kind of overdone now, looking at it in 2024, where Mormons
Like the joke runs way too long.
Mormons coming up to the door and being like slammed in the face, like it.
I don't even think it's that. It's just like obviously the punchline is everyone hates Mormons, haha, funny, and then
It does go on too long. You could probably get that joke across in one interaction.
like it's fine, I guess, whatever. Like there are a couple like decently funny scenes and like fun slapstick, and stuff like that. But most of it for me was just kind of a slog.
Okay, but
Can we-
what about with G Fresh when the thugs come to his karaoke bar to toss him around and they show just blatantly a rag doll that they are actually tossing around?
That was actually.
I didn't even notice that.
You didn't
How
notice
did you not notice?
I was just dying.
No, you have to pull up that scene right now because the fact that he didn't notice that is fucking
I
horrible. Were you
don't-
wearing glasses?
No,
Do you wear glasses?
I don't wear glasses.
Do you wear wigs? When will you wear wigs?
Maybe. It's kind of impossible to find anything for this fucking movie though on YouTube
Because it's all egregious.
well, not even that. Like nobody gives a fuck about this movie, despite the fact that it's a Matt and Trey story. I should probably talk this way for the microphone to pick it up. My audio problems are bad enough as it is editing the podcast. Okay, I don't even know how to spell orgasmo.
Z.
Organsmo.
It's a Z.
Z after N.
There's no N.
Oh, organzo.
Garbanzo. Orgasmo. But then you have to. I guess you would have to specify Orgasmo G Fresh.
G fresh.
Any sign at all. That part was funny. I like that part.
Yeah,
The ragdoll
that
thing was
cute.
very, very funny.
That was a cute gag. Oh
Every G Fresh scene?
cut.
It was that one, wasn't it?
There.
Yeah. Yeah, when
Actually,
he
it's
gets the
right
little
here.
cut.
Yeah, it's right. Look. Well, not that one. Is it after this?
Yeah, it's one of these things.
Not the glass. So that's a rag doll, you can tell.
That one was less noticeable though. Did you not notice that?
No. Is that like a good thing for the movie though?
It was pretty, yes.
Was that
that's
intentional?
yes,
It
that's
was definitely
intentional.
intentional.
That specific scene is on par with the fucking Team America
yeah,
humor.
that's what I was gonna say. With the ragdoll legs.
Okay.
There's some good parts. Like you can
I'm not
You
saying
can
the
tell
movie's
they were
devoid
cooking-
of quality at all.
cook in a
I just-
little.
I
No.
just didn't like it.
Listen, all right.
The overall, you can say.
I
it's
know you're not
funny, but
too
there are
interested
clips.
in like completely talking about the movie like in depth or anything. I will say, fucking banger song for the intro and outro of this movie. I absolutely love "Now You're a Man," which they have it ticketed as being performed by DVDA, which is a thing that they talk about in the movie. The one older actress talks about doing DVDA scenes. Not gonna explain what that is. You can look it up for yourself.
YouTube will not like that.
Yeah, YouTube will remember that. But I absolutely love "Now You're a Man." It is one of my favorite Trey Parker songs. Absolutely, just because of how fucking ridiculous it is.
So the movie itself, I don't even know how to really even talk about it. It's just it kind of just keeps going. I don't the movie.
It did feel long.
How long is the actual movie?
That's
in
what
itself?
at one point when we were watching the movie. Yeah,
It's
what's
only
the
an
runtime?
hour and a half.
It's
Yeah.
only an hour and bullshit.
It was an hour and a half.
Yeah, dude.
I know it feels long.
There was one point in the movie. It was towards the end, but I
There's
said,
literally
"How
There was, like,
long
5
is this
scenes.
fucking movie?"
There was like 20 minutes left, and she's like, Jesus, is this movie almost over or what?
no, it was definitely more aggressive than that. I remember.
There's like 5 scenes of him filming the first porno that keep going on forever. Okay, bring in the stunt cock.
Justin was like, "Chill the fuck out."
It's just like too obvious. You know, like what was the worst fucking comedy of all time, or one of them date movie?
Freddy Got Fingered.
No, that movie's actually kind of funny.
I'm gonna kill myself.
But
That movie is blacklisted from this podcast.
honestly,
I'll say the worst.
I want to
No,
recommend
for
it someday.
Freddy Got Fingered, the worst thing is the
I kind of respect the shit post.
the worst thing
The
is the
baby.
umbilical
Yeah.
cord swing.
He just swings the baby.
Doesn't he bite it?
Yes.
Yes, he does.
Oh my
He puts
God.
everything in his
Yeah.
mouth.
No,
Nope.
I literally had to leave the room when he put this on because it was. I could not.
I still don't know why Llamageddon is on your banned movies list. That movie's not.
Are you fucking kidding?
Did you watch it?
Yes, I did watch
You
it.
did. Wait. When
I-
did you watch it?
It's only an hour long.
Yeah, but you didn't mention this.
I did.
So she said specifically that she hated the eggs.
It does go on
Yeah.
forever, but like, oh, you're traumatized by that. There's
don't
nothing
like
that goes
it.
on. It's only because he goes.
It's gross. I don't like that.
It's very bad fucking
There's
like
just
costume design. What are you
like, what do
talking
you-
about?
There's just certain body horror things,
Like laying
such
eggs.
as swinging umbilical cords
Such
and
as
biting
being infused with a
And-
llama.
Llamas.
I'm a fucking llama now.
Llamas laying slimy eggs. I'm sorry, I don't enjoy viewing that.
All right.
I don't think I'm weird
Well, you have
for
to-
that opinion.
all right, but you have to
banned the
admit-
entire movie because of a 1-minute scene.
But you have to admit, alien llamas shooting lasers from their eyes is pretty fucking awesome.
It's not. the movie's fucking horrible.
On purpose. Did you notice the guy changing
Yes,
shirts in
yes, I
every
did.
single scene?
Yes, I did. Like, okay, like that's the type of joke. if in every scene in Orgasmo, right? Like, it would have been funny. In the movie, we see a little clip of the movie, and like Trey Parker is Orgasmo, and then we see like an instant like clip, and he's just like a completely different skin tone. They have that joke in the movie. But,
Oh,
like,
for the stunt cock.
yeah, but like, don't show that in like them filming it. Have a scene of the movie. It just like, and he just turns into a completely different man. Like, that could have been like.
Yeah, they didn't show any of the actual porno.
I mean,
Well, no.
did you want
th-
them
you-
Well,
to?
did you
no.
think they were gonna show
No.
porn?
It's NC-17. It's a porn rating.
But I thought they would.
I want.
That's
You can
not.
do some
porn.
stuff
That's
with.
that is not a porn rating. First of all,
Yes, it
porn, no,
is.
porn is
And
X.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
17-year-olds
No.
cannot go watch actual
No,
porn.
No, NC-17 is that you cannot be below 18 and see the movie. You're not allowed to go see a movie when you're 17 and below.
NC-17 is no
It's-
child under 17.
Yes, so essentially,
So
it's
17
the
and
same
up.
it's the same thing as X. They changed it. It used to be X, and then it turned to NC-17.
But that's 17 and up.
It's the same. It's the same rating. That's the
That
whole.
does
fucking-
not make any sense.
I don't know why they changed it. Maybe because X is
That's-
just too much.
It should be
into porn.
NC-18.
It can't be. It can't be
is.
because for like even for video games they still have a distinction because mature is 17 plus and then you have AO.
Yeah, but the point is that like that is, you know how rare that is. AO.
Oh yeah.
That's like the ultimate like spawn of devil. Like will ruin the government. Hillary Clinton has to go in front of people and say this game will ruin everything.
Hillary Clinton's got the snook in her sniz.
But NC-17 is a more popular rating. X was in the 70s. They had a bunch of actual porn in theaters that people wanted to actually pay tickets and go see. In the 90s, it stopped doing that because just don't,
Because what the fuck?
like don't go to fucking porn theaters.
Yeah.
Because then you'll end up like Pee Wee Herman.
No, No, like actual porn theaters,
Yes.
or were
Yeah, they would have theaters.
so they were separate from actual.
No. So a theater, a movieplex, has multiple screens, and there would be a screen dedicated to a porno movie.
So you could be watching like Bambi or something, and then hear moans from the next screen over.
It could be possible.
Ugh.
Oh,
Though,
that should definitely be a separate building,
but
not
no,
a separate room.
I don't know if there was actual like individual multiplexes just dedicated to porn, but I why would you do that?
The fact that it even happened in one, that's disgusting.
But there were a lot of movies at the time that were that porn rating, but weren't actually porn. They just had a lot of like really realistic violence or sex.
Violence. Yeah, because it was a different, like audiences felt different about certain things back then.
Yeah, so we had like X-rated movies like I don't know, like Fritz the Cat, or documentaries that would come out that would have that X rating. In the 90s, so for some reason they're like, oh, NC-17, we need to change it to that. And I remember there's only like a few wide releases that actually have that rating. One of them is Showgirls, which I heard is horrible. Orgasmo was not a wide release. It came and went in theaters because it's NC-17. Though, like, let's be clear here. This movie being NC-17 is so fucking lame. What about this movie needed to be NC-17?
Well, we didn't see the
I
uncut
know
version.
I know it's like unrated on YouTube, and they probably cut out some moments, but like NC-17, like you serious? The guys are fucking lame. Although they tried to rate South Park the movie NC-17 because they said fuck too many times. You guys hear about that story? They had to submit it to the the MPAA like 80 times.
Oh my god. What the hell?
Because they kept giving it the porn rating. And obviously you can't release a big budget movie in theaters if it's can't have like teenagers go in. Anyway, Orgasmo I think is I see the seeds of talent in there. Like some of the visual gags are cute. The slapstick is cute. I'd say cute, but like none of it really was giving me like.
You could see how it was a predecessor to South Park, at least early South Park.
Yeah, like it's not in their prime. Like I see the appeal of a movie like this. It definitely has that macho man like quirky energy.
Macho man.
Like I'm not a queer or something.
It feels like
But-
an adventure that Randy would find himself in South Park.
It kind of fits in with the Harold and Kumars of the world and like stuff like that.
Yeah, like more raunchier comedies.
But it's not. I feel like it's so tame in terms of its actual jokes. Besides the fact that it's on a porno set, I just didn't really feel that much from it. In terms of my rating of the movie, I didn't hate it. I give it a 4 out of 10. It's below average. Nothing about it. It screams to me exceptional. I didn't really laugh at most of the jokes.
I thought you'd put it way lower. I'm actually surprised by that.
Yeah,
I
that's
haven't-
what I thought.
Well, I was disappointed by it. Like I didn't feel much after watching the
Oh,
movie.
so that's more of a hopeful rating.
hopeful.
Like you were.
The movie came out. I already seen it, and I was disappointed. But nothing about it is like, oh my god, this is so fucking horrible. Besides the one character, the fucking annoying bully character. Actually, you know what?
Oh.
Fuck that character.
The bully
This movie gets a
character?
3 now.
Oh,
the dude's nephew.
Also, the
With the
whole
fart
the
jokes?
whole idea of
Yeah.
the finale for this fun comedy being that the girlfriend is gonna get assaulted. You know what? 3 out of 10 seems fair enough. I'm sorry, Matt and Trey. Actually, I didn't. Trey, you were in Despicable Me 3.
Oh,
I
jeez.
don't think.
you didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
Though I do
They
think.
have,
How
they
would
have
I-
a song.
How would I have known that?
They put out a song.
Though I do think that it's funny that Trey Parker admitted that he only did that so his child can watch something with him in it.
Wait, is
That's
that
adorable.
is that
That's
what
actually so adorable.
that's where that song came from?
With Pharrell.
Yeah. Hug me, bring it in.
I do have to admit, the only reason why anyone should still watch the Despicable Me movies is just to see what Pharrell's kooky mind comes up when it comes to the music. Is that the only like soundtrack for an animated movie that gets people excited nowadays?
So what is your rating?
Well, I go by Letterboxd, so
Should she give
1.5.
it stars? Then I give it 1.5 stars.
Oh, so we're
It's
We're
3 out
even.
of 10.
and then you're gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
What? No, I'm giving it I'd say for me it's a 5 out of 10.
Whoa, whoa.
Like I said, it's like
Brave.
it's like middle of the road. It's not their best movie. I can recognize
pleasantly
that.
Surprised. I thought you were gonna go with Madison with her unhinged takes on Scooby Doo or something like that. You know, Scooby Doo 2, 7 out of 10.
Ugh.
That's
No, I mean,
apparently twice the movie of Orgasmo.
I was gonna say 6 out of 10, but I still feel like that's a little too much more than middle of the. It is really middle of the road when it comes to Matt and Trey content. So 5 is more suiting for my personal opinion. Like I said, the most memorable thing out of this movie for me is the song "Now You're a Man." That is my absolute favorite part of this movie.
It was so funny.
The best part of the
listening to
movie
that.
is in the first 5 seconds.
And the last
It
minute.
was funny how hearing that song after Team America, just hearing that voice not change at all in the 5 years in between those two movies.
I absolutely love their voice work. So
Now we need to watch Despicable Me 3 and
Oh, God.
see Trey
Please,
Parker's acting
please,
ability.
please don't. That's not officially his content. That is Illumination, and I'm not.
Well, you'll do it if the podcast. I'm just gonna do the.
Don't.
I'm just gonna do the Nicolas Cage meme, like, you know, I can make you do whatever horrible thing I want you to do, and you have to do it, and you have to do it, or I'll fire you. You understand?
God.
Just his deranged fate. Anyway, so yeah, we all gave our ratings. It's time for the movie selection wheel. Yay! It's time. So, last week, we picked Orgasmo. Thank you, Justin, for
You're welcome.
for the suggestion.
You're welcome.
So, Grave of the Fireflies will remain on this wheel until it gets picked as the next canonical Ghibli movie on the list for depression. I recommended Parasite last week, and it didn't get picked. But due to Madison refusing to watch Furiosa, I want her to experience Fury Road and just give it a try. So I put it on the wheel. I
Oh,
recommend it. It was either that or Happy Feet, just out of malice.
God.
But because I remember Happy Feet being just an interesting little movie that's... What was he thinking? Anyway, so Mad Max Fury Road is my suggestion replacing Parasite. What is your replacement for Orgasmo, Justin?
Well, I could meme a bit here and just go with you and put Fury Road on there twice because it'd be funny as shit.
Well,
but
I'll
no.
actually replace it with Happy Feet if you do that.
No, no. I think I'm gonna go with what I talked about earlier and
Well,
actually put the dark.
The audience doesn't know that.
No, I know, but you know it. So for the audience, I'm going with what I spoke with them about earlier, The Dark Knight,
Okay.
because
Is there-
such a quotable, memeable movie.
It's actually good.
It
Anyway,
is.
So, Madison, what will you complete the wheel with this week?
Silence of the Lambs,
Any particular reason?
because it was the first movie that I picked from the list that I saw.
Thanks to Be Informative. Talks with Madison.
Thanks to IMDb for the movie suggestion.
We need to make a new picture of us. Photoshop us all together. It's time for Elimination Style. If the wheel picks your movie, it's out of the race, baby. So, our first selection, the movie that's eliminated is. Guess what it is?
Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
Oh, fuck me, dude. Come on.
I was kind of hoping it wouldn't be that because I don't want Madison to get angry. She's
Well-
only had her movie picked once, and that is literally only because it was like a thing that she had to fight over.
Whatever.
The next movie eliminated will be Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh,
Get fucked.
shut up.
You're part of the problem here.
Are you gonna keep that on there for future?
I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling next week. And we are watching Grave of the Fireflies.
Fuck.
Oh boy.
Dark Knight's staying on there for me. I don't care.
Will you remember next week?
I
That's
will.
The question. Oh boy. Here we go. Depression.
If I gotta watch this movie, then I'm not wearing hockey pads.
So,
Well, we can't always have banger weeks for movies and TV.
it seems today that all you see.
What's the movie?
Good morning, USA.
My name is Cleveland Brown.
Are we just going through the roster of Seth MacFarlane right now?
Boom, 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 boom,
So,
boom, 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 boom. That's the Bob's Burgers theme song.
This movie, Grave of the Fireflies, came out the same day as My Neighbor Totoro in theaters. They released these puppies at the same time, I guess as a double feature. You're gonna understand. You're gonna understand why after watching this movie. It is the first Ghibli movie not directed by Hayao Miyazaki that we will be watching. So you get to see another director step into the field, and I'm just gonna tell you this movie's gonna be depressing as fuck. So
Oh boy. Thanks.
it's about World War II.
Two. All
Oh,
right. So a
God.
dark show and a dark movie. Awesome.
No, it's a black comedy. This is just dark. Though I do think, believe me, this is only available on Vudu unless you want to watch it through other means. Other means.
Wait, it's a Studio Ghibli that's not on Max?
It's not. I think it's their only movie that's not on Max because.
Wow. You had to choose the one that's not on Max.
Well,
huh?
no, because we're going in order, bro. So here's some questions. The first question that comes up is, why was the Grave of the Firefly so sad? That's the first question that pops up.
Oh.
Well, can't wait to cry.
Oh, we might actually cry. I'm not gonna lie to you.
We'll cry together.
Will we? We're not watching this movie together, right?
No.
That's what I was gonna say about Orgasmo. Maybe it would have been better if it was watched in a group setting as opposed
That's a little uncomfortable.
to a little uncomfortable.
I'm not a queer or something, but
I'm not a queer or anything, but I think you have a really nice.
It's sad when
trying to find
his
this
character
fucking-
was one of the better parts of the movie.
not even that. Like,
Just them cutting to his stupid face that he was making the entire time.
okay. You can only watch it Fandango at home, Voodoo.
We don't have that, so we're gonna have to get that.
No, it's something. It's like a channel where you rent it. So
I have a Roku television.
I looked on Roku, right? And it says the only way you can watch the movie is this: add Fandango at home, Voodoo, watch in HD, rent for $2.99, less expensive than Orgasmo, but still just as depressing.
Oh boy.
So yeah, I'm so sorry, Justin.
Why? I got to watch a Matt and Trace special.
Oh yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, and I didn't get jack dick.
You have actually been very unlucky in the.
Yeah. It's
Actually,
because I'm a woman.
do we? Do we actually next episode after Grave for the Fireflies? Do we just want to give one to her?
No.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
You're throwing the basketball,
And I'm gonna make
she's
the
so
worst
fucking
fucking
bad.
movie you've ever seen.
She gets nothing because she refused. She refused to go watch
Don't-
Furiosa.
Don't bank
Oh,
on his anger.
Actually,
No, you get nothing. You didn't want to go watch the woman empowerment movie with us. You get nothing.
I've seen plenty of women empowerment movies. Tell the audience your opinion on the Hunger Games.
actually, that movie.
Overplayed.
80% of the
Overplayed.
audience for Furiosa was men. Apparently, men don't like women, or women don't like women in action movies.
I'm actually sexist.
Towards your own
But
kind.
More females watched Hunger Games than males.
Well, I think more.
Because women
I
just
think
get
more.
it.
I think more women are into the book series, and
They
so
haven't
that
been-
correlates to the movies.
You know what's crazy? There haven't been that many young adult movies anymore. I guess we're getting
Yeah.
new Maze Runner movies for some fucking reason.
Well, I
Okay,
mean,
why
what-
is Disney remaking those movies when they're not even 10 fucking they just I think this year is the 10th anniversary of the first Maze Runner. Why do we need to remake the movies?
Well, what's all the stuff that was coming out around that same time? We had
The first Equalizer.
Twilight. There. Well, I mean,
you're
young,
talking
like
about like young
teenager
adults.
movies. Yeah,
There was
like
like a ton of them. Came
Maze
out.
Runner, Hunger Games, Twilight,
Divergent.
Divergent series. Jesus Christ!
And then there was like a couple movies that came and went. What was like Beautiful Creatures, Mortal Instruments, Vampire Academy, like the dog shit that like nobody remembers. But it's weird. I can't believe like the stereotypes are actually true. Like, you know, women and men movie going habits. I don't like to give Grace Randolph any credit.
Name drop.
Oh, fuck her.
Damn.
No, I don't. I really don't think that the issue that she stated in her one post of men don't want to see women in power movies, that's, at least for me, not true. I would like to see more of
She
it.
said that, but well, actually, yes, she
Justin's
did
a
talk about it in
feminist.
her like report because 78% of men of the audience was men, so women clearly don't like to see action movies about themselves, and if more men wanted to see it, then it would have been even a higher percentage. It's sad.
As if 78% isn't a good percentage of
like-
men going to see.
No, like, okay. No, what she's saying, I think, is if more men went to go see the movie in general, like, let's just say it was more people turning out in general. If men really wanted to see this movie, then even more should have shown up because it didn't do well. The movie should have did well.
Yeah, it should have, but I mean, we do have that whole thing of theaters are dying as it is.
Which, how would we choose to save movie theaters at this point? So the number one thing that it fucking hurts the movie experience is the audiences themselves and the lack of regulation of those audiences. And I understand that you don't want to take those rowdy people and turn them away because you need the business. But fuck them. The whole reason why movie going sucks right now is because the audiences that you see the movie with are disrespectful little bitches that ruin the experience by smoking in the theater, talking on their phone.
Pissing.
Yes, okay.
Did we ever share that story?
No, I think it's time since this
It's
is a relevant.
time.
It's a relevant conversation piece. Fuck it. Delay the ending of podcast. So we went to go see Monkey Man. So we were really excited. We saw the trailer, and it just looked like a fun action movie. And we watched the film, and we're gonna. Okay, well,
We watched about half of the film.
no, we watched about like 70%. I think that's like a good point, right? So, we were watching the movie, at a certain point, a man walks down of the steps and walks into the little hallway that you walk into the room. There's a little hallway, and then you go
Get
and
into the actual theater where you can get to your seat.
Yes.
And mind you,
one of the exits.
we were in one of the theater at the very end, so there was only one entrance into this theater. Some of the other ones have 2 entrances. This one only had 1, and this asshole
He fucking trapped us.
decided that he was gonna piss in our only way out of the theater.
So originally, we were watching the movie, and he does this, and they're talking like, "Did he piss?" And I don't believe it.
Max
because
fully does not believe.
I didn't believe it because first off, the movie's really fucking good, so I'm trying to like invest myself in that. But also like, why would the guy fucking piss in the theater? It doesn't make any fucking sense. I know that I had experience by sitting on a used condom, but
That's another story.
but you know, there's a difference. I can't believe this. I have to fucking make this comparison because both of this fucking happened to me. Anyway,
About
so
In the
a
same
little bit,
theater.
a little bit afterwards, right? It starts to smell a little bit. I'm like, is there some BO or something? And then the guy comes down again because clearly his fucking bladder.
It's like
it
30 minutes
was like
later,
20
maybe.
something minutes later.
And then he pisses in the corner, and this time it is fully audible. I'm able to hear it clearly, and we're panicking because we're in a contaminated room.
Yeah, we're trapped in a biohazard
I legitimately
area.
had a panic attack because he was up at the top and he was like
And then he was roaming
pacing,
about.
and I was like, I don't know this guy's intentions. I don't know if he's gonna pee on me. I want to go, please.
Can we
So-
please escape from R. Kelly?
So, because somehow we were still debating staying in the theater by that point. I don't know how.
We didn't know what to do. So we leave the theater,
Well,
and we're talking to the theater employees, like, how the hell is this possible? And then someone else comes out and says, we have a problem here.
Flip flops popping.
Some guy just pissed in the theater twice. If that guy knew, like, actually, like, this guy pissed, why didn't he report it the first time? But seriously, what the fuck? Like, the movie theater experience
Oh my god, you're losing your voice.
is so depressing right now because
Max is starting to sound like political podcast hosts. They're turning to freaking frogs.
I was gonna say
it's so depressing because the movie, like, just go watch the fucking movie. I'm being serious. We're there to watch the movie. That's the whole reason why we go. It's not because I'm bringing this hot girl on a date. You know, we don't actually want to talk. Because you don't go to a movie to have a date and talk to someone. You have to go to a movie to watch the fucking movie. Not to be on your phone. Not to fucking kick my seat where my head is. Not to do all this bullshit. Go watch the fucking movie. Act like mature adults.
Yeah.
And
Well-
these theaters get someone to actually monitor this shit. Because I'm watching a serious movie. Like, Monkey Man deserves to be respected, or like a Furiosa,
Yeah.
or some shit. And you know how annoying it is to see like a flash of light in the corner of my eye. Like, what the fuck is that? Oh,
Well,
it's just some asshole.
Now at least my running gag every time we go to the movie theater is, before we go into the movie, I'm gonna go use the bathroom like a civilized human being.
literally the other day at work, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna head to the theater. I gotta piss so bad.
I didn't even realize that was a joke that you were doing. I thought you were just like, you're gonna leave work for the day, and you need to pee, so you stopped at the first place that you saw. But no.
Oh
No.
no, it was much darker than that.
Anywho.
I'm so sorry, Deb Patel. This fucking Neanderthal acted like a fucking monkey in the theater. We're lucky that he didn't start.
He was the actual
Start
monkey.
throwing
He was
shit.
the actual monkey man.
He just got really into the movie. He wanted to like channel that. He's a method actor.
Oh yeah. We're not gonna talk about Monkey Man.
Yeah, no.
Let's actually like.
Give it
Not fair considering we still have yet to finish it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
watched about 70% of the movie. I'm so fucking. Okay, that's reason number one. Like that's second. Like okay, movie ticket prices are in like a spot where they're getting too expensive, and that's something that is gonna happen. But you need to make the theater experience worth it for people. Add more premium screens because people like to go to the theater now for the premium experience that you can't get at home because our theater setups are getting really good. So the okay screens, like the shitty little screens in the corners of the theater, that's not good enough anymore. Just make more nice big screens with good sound and more people will go. Because it'll be like something like, oh, I'm paying money to go see this movie on this big screen. I'm going to give it the respect that it deserves.
Also, another thing is how have
The IMAX theater we went to go see.
these theaters not all adopted the lounge chair idea yet? That
So,
some
it's
theaters
just-
have.
It
too
is
expensive,
yeah,
I
very
guess.
expensive.
So, like, again, it's
All right,
part
well,
of
they're
that
fucking
premium
hiking up the prices of the tickets.
Yeah, like, it's part
To
of that
make up for
premium
the loss of income
experience.
they're already experiencing.
And plus inflation. Like, the premium experience, like, if we have these, like, you know, recliner chairs and all, like, it makes the experience, like, it makes it more worth it. I mean, again, at the same time, like, it's not your fucking couch. You're not at your house. You're going to go see a movie. And I guess a lot of people like, oh, we're going to the movies. They could buy popcorn and make it a whole big experience. And
Yeah, but I mean,
just go see the movie.
I do like to kick my feet up when I watch something because I like to actually sit back and relax so that I can enjoy the movie properly.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting there, legs planted on the ground, leaning
Yeah.
forward a little
It's
bit,
a-
hunched
at
over,
our theater,
uncomfortable.
I find myself adjusting a lot.
Yeah,
It's not,
yeah.
It's
The
not-
seats
it's
are
not a
not the
good
most
theater.
comfortable in the world. So
not ideal.
The only reason why I go, like, if our small independent theater had, like, a subscription and their prices were a bit more reasonable, then, yeah, that would have been great. Like, I know it's another 20 minutes away from where we are, but, I mean, that's a premium experience that's actually worth it. Instead, we are stuck with our lovely little tiny Regal, still chugging along despite the piss.
Despite the piss.
Okay.
And we went there because we got a ticket, a free ticket for our next time going there because they were like, "Oh, please come back, please."
They couldn't even find their tickets to give them refunds.
Yeah. It is what it is.
I don't blame the
so
workers.
we went back. Well, yeah, that goes without saying.
What do we go back to see?
Civil War.
Yeah,
Oh,
Civil
yes.
War.
And-
And the guy told us that he was in there earlier that day.
Like, I'm actually flabbergasted. Like, he pissed in the theater. I don't give a shit if he's a consistent customer. Don't allow him back in the theater. I don't care.
It gave us this is a way less
Oh my
extent,
God.
but it reminded me very much of my old manager at Goose Store. I don't want to name
Goose Store?
He said we had a guy who was like every single day he would come in and he would walk around the parking lot and just drop chicken bones everywhere. And the gas guys were so pissed off about it because it's like fucking I guess he's getting like a fucking 50 piece every day and walking around the parking lot and just spreading the shit around, and then they got to go and sweep that up. And my manager was like, he's a paying customer. He can drop chicken bones all over the entire goddamn parking lot for all I care. I was like, no, get him out of here.
It's money. We need the money.
I'm
That
sure the
counts as
$5 a day
litter.
he spends on a goose item is real worth it.
I'm actually like thinking movie theaters could go away in the next 10 years. And, like, I love
Yeah.
the experience of like sitting down in a theater and fully engrossing myself in the theater and watching a movie and in the way that it's intended. A big screen, I can fully focus. I'm not looking at my phone because I'm there to watch the fucking movie.
We were talking about this the other day. How I haven't had like a really good movie theater experience that would make it worth going to the movie theater.
You need to go see like a fun like horror movie or like a giant event movie opening weekend. Maybe it depends on the audience, because like the funnest theater experiences that I've had were for Endgame.
Yeah, that's what it was for me. Like, I haven't had a really good movie theater experience since Endgame.
The Force Awakens / The Last Jedi. Like those audiences were very active and loud.
I wouldn't have been interested in that.
I'm just saying my theater experiences. And then Scream 2022, I had an audience that was I was normally annoyed but how talking through the movie, but these people were actually pretty fucking funny. Like so.
Oh my god! Can I tell this story? This is the longest ending to a podcast.
We gotta wrap it up.
Okay,
Make
one
it
more
quick.
thing. Max, what were you gonna say?
I forgot.
Anyway, my brother went to the movie theater to see The Conjuring 2, and when me and my mom and I believe my ex-boyfriend went to the theater, we had a really annoying group sitting in the back, and they were apparently, from the context of the situation that I could fully hear from them, they were supposed to have gone to Finding Dory, but went there instead. And
how do you do that?
half the group no, it was like a conscious decision for them to go to that movie instead with that group, and apparently a couple people in that group did not like that decision, and so they were very vocal about it. But when my brother went, he was like, I really enjoyed my group, because at one point in the movie the girl sees something in the corner, I think, or like, yeah, she sees something in the corner when the light's off, so she left it on, and the guy in the back says, yeah, leave that light on.
That's exactly the experience I had with Scream. Slight spoilers for Scream 2022. There's a scene where one of the ghost faces gets burned alive, and she gets up, starts like inflatable arm man running towards our heroes, and then she gets shot in the head, and he's like,
what movie was this?
Scream 2022. And
I thought I saw, didn't I see that one?
I don't know what you watch.
I saw like 1 and then 5. I went like really extreme.
But essentially, the guy in the theater was like, how the fuck did she get up? I thought she was cooked extra crispy. It's disruptive, but
yeah.
if you're funny, it works.
You have to be like a comedy god, like very
Charismatic.
confident. Yes.
Or the movie has to be shit.
And also sprinkle it in. Like, nobody's coming there for your commentary, no matter how funny you are. But like, if you want to sprinkle it in during the quiet moments, like,
or like a
right
comedic payoff, like The Room, we were constantly whispering.
The Room was actually, yeah, The Room was a pretty good theater experience for me. I'll be honest, it was a terrible movie. I'm so sorry, but
that's why I bought it for you for your birthday.
Yes, so I can cherish that memory forever.
If we're all gonna talk about funny people in our experiences in the theater,
oh yeah,
I know
what you're gonna say.
I do have one that she already knows about. I went to watch The Nun, the first Nun.
Oh, what a shitty movie!
When it first came out, and there's a scene in the movie specifically where the nun like hisses and bares her teeth, and the people in front of me, there's one dude, while the nun is hissing on screen, this one dude just blurts out, "She looked like a rabbit," and I just started dying laughing in the theater because she did. She did. She looks like a rabbit.
She's so scary.
She was scary, at least from what I remember.
In The Conjuring 2.
Yeah, in The Conjuring 2, she was fucking terrifying.
And then they're like, "Oh, we need to make a whole 2 movies about her."
She did not have that much mileage. But the Crooked Man, weren't they gonna make a movie about the Crooked Man? I liked him
because he was main villain of that movie.
Yeah,
So they don't need to make a
he
hole.
went so hard.
Okay.
They should. I would watch the shit out of
Is
it.
there any? What is your thoughts on the failing movie theater industry? How would you save it?
I have no ideas on how to save it, honestly.
Evacuate all of the piss boys.
No, you know what? I think part of the problem is that a lot of these movies are ending up just going to streaming services a few weeks or months after.
That's definitely
theater?
a factor.
Yeah.
They just released The Fall Guy on digital. The movie didn't even have a chance to get an audience.
So it's like what's the point in going to spend fucking $13 to see this movie in the theater when a month down the road it's going to be on one of my favorite streaming services that I'm already subscribed to?
Like Peacock.
Yeah.
Keycock. All having voice problems this episode.
I have an excuse. I got very angry.
Yeah, Alex Jones style.
They're
turning the frickin' frogs gay.
They're putting poison in the Furiosa.
Furiosa. He would definitely call Furiosa woke.
Yeah, because it woman in movie.
She's a girl boss. She's more competent than some other people in the movie that happen to be men.
She has shaved head.
I gotta talk about one of these new woke films that came out. It's called Furiosa.
I was so interested to see, like, because a lot of people online are like, oh, we don't want to see this movie. It looks bad. And strong arm people, blue check mark. But I saw a review by the Critical Drinker, lovely gentleman. And he was talking about it with his podcast mates. And he's like, well, this movie isn't as woke as Fury Road, so that's a positive. I'm like, what? Like, seriously, like, fuck you. Like, if you walk into a movie like, oh, this movie's woke, it's bad.
It's woke because there's women in it.
And the movie's saying that women should have equal rights to men.
It's woke because there's a woman in it and she's got a robot arm and she's freeing other women.
She's pretty cool. I love her, that character. Badass. Anyway, at the end of the day, I love movie theaters. I hope they stick around, and I pray that you go see movies and you act respectfully in theater, and we'll have a fun time together. Or else they'll be gone, and then we'll all be in our houses. We're running out of things to do outside anyway. So
yeah, don't go to the movie theater and then flick Twizzlers on random bystanders.
Or fucking talk in the middle of the movie, or use your phone, or kick me in the head,
or piss and poop.
And kick Justin in the head.
Yeah, kick me in the head.
Yeah.
Why? What's the joke there?
It's
I
kink.
don't know. So I can get brain damage.
That's how. Full circle, back to Orgasmo.
What is it?
What?
I said it's his kink.
Oh, it's the word kink. Okay. But it was like a joke
Stop
I missed.
Alright, well, we've run out of topic.
Yes. I think it's time for a wrap up.
Well, thank you everyone for listening to the latest episode of the Cheapest Podcast. Stay like and subscribe for more.
Smash that like button.